The wind rolled across the plains like a living thing, bending dry grass low and whispering through broken fence posts. Cole Harrison stood on the porch of his ranch house, arms crossed, eyes narrowed against the fading orange of the sunset. The land stretched endlessly before him, wide, empty, unforgiving, just the way he liked it, or at least the way he'd trained himself to like it after years of loss. The crunch of tires on gravel pulled his attention to the driveway. A dusty old sedan came to a stop near the barn, its engine coughing before falling silent. Cole frowned. No one ever came out here unannounced, not anymore. The driver's door opened slowly and a woman stepped out. She looked tired, not the kind of tired that came from a long day, but the kind that settled deep in the bones. Her dark hair was pulled back in a loose braid, strands escaping to frame a pale, determined face. She wore worn boots, faded jeans, and a coat that had seen better winters. Cole's jaw tightened. "Can I help you?" he called, his voice sharp enough to cut. The woman hesitated, then walked closer, stopping a respectful distance away. "My name is Eliza Moore," she said. "I was told you might need help around the ranch." "I don't," Cole replied flatly. "Leave at dawn. I'm not interested." Her eyes widened slightly. "I just got here." "Then you can leave sooner," he said, already turning back toward the house. Eliza swallowed. "I can cook, clean, tend animals. I don't need much, just a place to stay for a bit." Cole stopped. Slowly, he turned around. "This isn't a charity," he said coldly, "and I don't hire strangers." Something flickered across her face. Hurt, maybe, or exhaustion. But she straightened her shoulders. "I understand. I'll leave in the morning." He nodded once. "Good." Cole went inside, slamming the door behind him like punctuation at the end of a sentence he didn't want to revisit. The house was quiet, as it always was. Too quiet. Cole poured himself a cup of black coffee, though it was late, and sat at the small wooden table by the window. His gaze drifted to the framed photo on the wall, his late wife, Anna, smiling softly beside him. The memory of her laughter tightened his chest. He shook his head. No more attachments, he told himself. No more letting people in. Outside, the wind howled. Morning came cold and gray. Cole rose before dawn, pulled on his boots, and stepped outside, expecting to see the driveway empty. It wasn't. Eliza was already up, crouched near the chicken coop, carefully repairing a loose wire with practiced hands. A kettle steamed over a small portable stove beside her car. Cole paused. She noticed him and stood quickly. "Good morning," she said softly. "I told you to leave at dawn." He replied. "I will," she said. "I just wanted to feed the chickens first. They were restless." He frowned. "You didn't have to do that." "I know." An unfamiliar smell drifted toward him. Warm, rich, comforting. He realized the kettle wasn't just water. A pan sat beside it, something inside sizzling gently. "What's that?" he asked despite himself. "Breakfast," she said. "Biscuits and gravy. My mother taught me." He hesitated. Hunger gnawed at him, traitorous and insistent. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "I know," she repeated, "but I like feeding people." Something in her tone, simple, sincere, caught him off guard. "Fine," he muttered. "One meal, then you go." She smiled faintly. "Thank you." They ate in silence on the porch. Cole took one bite and froze. The biscuit was perfect, flaky, buttery, soft on the inside. The gravy was rich without being heavy, seasoned just right. He took another bite, then another. Eliza watched him from the corner of her eye, but said nothing. "This is." He cleared his throat. "This is good." She nodded. "I'm glad." When the plate was empty, Cole stared at it like it had betrayed him. "You can stay one more day," he said gruffly. "Work trial." Her eyes lifted to his, hope flashing briefly before she masked it. "Thank you. Don't read into it." He added, "Leave tomorrow if it doesn't work." Of course. Days turned into a week. Eliza worked quietly, efficiently. She never pried, never asked questions. She cooked meals that filled the house with warmth and smells that stirred memories Cole had buried deep. Sunday dinners, laughter, hands reaching across the table. He found himself lingering near the kitchen more often. One evening he came in soaked from rain, cold to the bone. Eliza handed him a towel and a bowl of stew without a word. He ate slowly, savoring each bite. "My wife used to cook like this," he said suddenly. Eliza looked up, startled. "I'm sorry," she said gently. "So was I." He replied, then fell silent. That night he lay awake longer than usual, listening to the house breathe. Eliza had her own ghosts. She'd lost everything when the factory closed. Job, apartment, savings. A brief marriage had ended badly, leaving her wary and bruised in ways that didn't show on skin. She'd driven until the road felt like it might offer mercy, following a rumor about a ranch that sometimes hired help. She hadn't expected kindness, she'd expected survival. Cole confused her. He was rough-edged, distant, but there were moments when his eyes softened, when he watched the sunset like he was listening to something no one else could hear. She cooked because it was the one thing she could give freely. Love shaped into nourishment. The first argument came over something small. "You shouldn't be lifting that," Cole snapped when he saw her hauling a heavy feed sack. "I'm capable," she shot back. "This isn't a discussion." She dropped the sack. "You don't get to talk to me like that." They stared at each other, tension crackling. "Then maybe you should leave," he said harshly. Her face went pale. "If that's what you want." He turned away, anger and something dangerously close to fear churning in his chest. That night she cooked nothing. The house felt hollow. By morning, guilt weighed heavier than pride. Cole found Eliza packing her car. "I didn't mean it," he said stiffly. She paused but didn't look at him. "You did." "I meant, I'm not good at this," he admitted. "People." She turned slowly. "Neither am I." Silence stretched. "You can stay," he said, "if you want." Her shoulders sagged with relief she didn't try to hide. "I want to." Winter crept in early. Snow dusted the plains, softening the harsh edges of the land. One evening the power went out during a storm. The house plunged into darkness. Eliza lit candles while Cole started a fire. They sat close for warmth, shadows dancing on the walls. "Why are you really here?" he asked quietly. She hesitated, then told him everything. When she finished, he said, "You're safe here." The words settled between them, solid and real. When she leaned against his shoulder, he didn't pull away. The kiss happened without planning. A brush of fingers, a breath held too long, a moment where loneliness met loneliness and recognized itself. Cole pulled back first. "I can't promise forever," he said roughly. "I'm not asking for it." She replied, "Just now." That was enough. Spring returned with green shoots and new calves in the fields. Eliza laughed more. Cole smiled easier. One morning, she served breakfast and slid a plate toward him. "You know," he said, "I told you to leave at dawn." She grinned. "You did." "I'm glad you didn't listen." She reached for his hand, and he let her. The ranch no longer felt empty, and for the first time in years, neither did he.